how to set up and take down one of our 5-in-1 deluxe combos. This one here in particular is the Disney Princess. It's a popular unit and it's requested a lot for pickups. So we thought it'd be a good idea to give you an idea how to do it. The first thing is when you get your unit, it's going to come in a big roll. When you drop it out of your truck, your pickup, your trailer, this is going to be the back of your unit. We always roll our units from front to the back when we clean them and put them up. There's two reasons for that. One, we always know which direction to unroll them when we're setting up for a party. That way, if it's at your feet, you roll it out away from you. That's going to be the entrance of your unit most of the time, or the front of your unit. So it'd make it a little easier, just to know exactly how to set it up instead of trying to turn it around a bunch. Another reason we roll it from front to back, when we take them down, it helps squeeze the air out to the back of the blower tubes and zippers. First thing you'll do, drop it on the ground, undo your straps. It's usually best just to leave the straps laying out behind it. That way they're already in place when you're ready to put it back up. As you can see, like I said, when you first get it, start to unstrap it and unroll it. This is going to be the back of your unit. I'm rolling it out that way. That's going to be the front of my unit for the party. As you're unrolling it, kind of look to see if there's any air pockets, zippers, or flaps on the bottom of the unit or on the sides. Go ahead and close those up. You'll need them closed when you get ready to blow it up. Finish unrolling it. Now that I got the unit unrolled, I'm going to want to unfold it. Grab it in the middle somewhere. It's better if you have a couple of people to help you. It's pretty easy to tell which way it unfolds when you get started. Each unit's folded a little different. This depends on the type and the shape of the unit. This is a pretty large unit here. All right, now that we got her unfolded here, it's time to make sure all your zippers and flaps are shut on the unit so it does not lose any air. Then we're going to walk around here. Each unit's a little different. Some have the blower ports here on the back or on the side of the unit. Your pickup will be supplied with however many blowers it takes. Most of the time one blower, sometimes two, depending on the unit again. If it comes with one blower, don't panic if you got another blower tube. It's only meant to have one. Just cinch that one tight and leave it closed off and hook your blower to the other one. Pretty simple. Just put it in the tube. Most of them either have a Velcro or a pull strap to cinch it tight, and then plug your blower up and cut it on. Alright, as you can see, it's a little bit noisier. The blower's on. It's just now starting to blow the unit up. It's going to take a couple of minutes. While it's blowing up, you can always walk around and ensure that you didn't leave anything in your yard, driveway, anything that might poke a hole in the inflatable. And make sure all your zippers and flaps are closed. That way you're not losing air pressure. And then just give it a second till she's up in the air. Alright, this one's up. As I said, this is a large unit. The next thing you'll want to do is walk around, look for points to anchor it with. You'll see on each unit they'll have something like this hanging out from under them. It'll be several locations all the way around the unit. You just go around and find them. You'll be provided with the stakes to anchor it with. Like you got a pretty large stake right here. You'll stick it in it, drive it in the ground. When you drive them, try to drive them at an angle a little bit. And that is because these things do take on a lot of wind, and it's a lot easier to pick them straight up if the stakes drove straight down. If it's drove at an angle, it has to rip out quite a bit of earth to take it out of the ground. Another thing is a lot of our units are wet or dry, depending on the season. if you order a unit like this as a water unit, most units like this, they'll have a hose attached to it already somewhere where you'll just screw your water hose into the end of it and turn it on. If it does not, it'll be a different type of one of our units. It has a little sleeve or something sitting on top of the slide that you just slide your garden water hose inside of and turn on. Alright, once you're done setting it up, have it all anchored where it won't move. Have everything ready to go, walk around, check it out one good time. If you see any issues with the unit at all, contact us immediately before use. Keep reminded that no shoes, food, drinks, sharp objects, or silly string are allowed on or around the unit at any time. If you have pets or animals, they have to be restrained at all times. Their claws will poke holes in the vinyl. Alright everybody, we're going to show you how to fold and roll one of our 5-in-1 deluxe combos if you do the pickup option on it. Like we said before, each one's a little different. So we'll kind of walk you through the steps here on how to fold it and how to properly roll it to make it easier on you when you pick up. First off, like all of them, you're going to go around and shut your blowers off and unplug them. Some of them have 2 blowers, some of them have 1. It just depends on the unit you get. As you're coming down, just kind of guide them a little bit. It'll help you, that way you don't have as much to clean up. Again, be sure to clean the inside, wipe the inside of them down, get all the grass and stuff out before you let it down. And kind of guide it as it comes down, that way if you have mud or something on the ground, it don't fall over in it, make more of a mess for you to clean up. You got a good start on it down, go back around, take your blowers off, blower tube, so the air start coming out faster. Alright, once you get the blowers unhooked, you go around the unit. You should have it anchored already, especially if you're outdoors. You'll have anchors, and just go ahead and, while you're waiting on the air to come out, that'll give you something to do. Go ahead and roll your blower and cords up, pull your stakes out of it, and then once most of the air gets out of it, we'll start walking it out, flattening it out, and showing you how to fold it. Okay, once it's down and you let it pretty much get as much air as it can out itself, then you'll start pulling everything in. The ideal is everything that's hanging on the outside of the unit, kind of pull it in, just make it like a square or a long rectangle. Before you start folding it to roll up. There you see this side done fell in, so all I'm going to do is just line it up. That way it's not all bunched in the middle in one big wad, which will make it harder for you to roll when you start rolling. You want it as flat and square as possible. The front here, where it's all wadded up, just going to pull it back a little bit, flatten it out, just like you did that side. Then once you get over to this other side that's hanging out, you're just going to kind of pull everything in. See how we're doing here? It's starting to show the outside edges of the bounce house, the part that was touching the ground. That means we're doing what we want. We're getting everything to the inside, getting it where it's not all wadded up on one side. Pull that over and pull these back again so it ain't wadded up so much in the middle. Step you can go ahead and fold in also. Now we pretty much just got a square laid out here. Go We're going to take a few minutes, kind of walk back and forth over it, squeeze as much air out of it as we can. Get squared up, walked out, about as much air as we can get out of it right now. We're going to start folding. As you notice with most of our other combos, we start folding two-sided and then roll it from a long ways. This is a little different because the footprint it takes up. It's more wide than it is, as much wide as it is long. So in this, the way we're going to do it is we're going to fold the lightest side, the one that has the least amount of weight in it, all the way over to the other side for the first fold. All right? The way you determine that is pretty much at your combo, when you played on it all weekend, you already know which side of the unit has to slide. This side right here has to slide in it, so it's going to be the heaviest side. So we're not going to pick this side up yet. What we're going to do, we're going to go over here to the lighter side and pick it up and walk it all the way across. Again, we're used to doing this. We've done this for a long time. We're used to handling them. I do not recommend you try to do it by yourself. This is a good size unit. You're going to need a couple of people to help you. Alright, see how I pulled it all the way over and I even let it overlap just a little bit. Walk down through there, straighten your sides out as much as possible. Get as many wrinkles as you can out. The flatter you can get it, the easier it'll be in the long run to roll. And once you get it folded, again, same thing you did before. You're going to walk back and forth across the unit, squeeze as much air out as you can, and get as many of these humps down as you can. Alright, well, once again, we walk back and forth, squeeze, got as many lumps and humps out of it, squeeze as much air out as possible. As you've seen for the first fold, we tuck and folded it all the way over. Again, when you fold these up, if you might want to pay attention and take a damp rag and wipe the bottom off if you got something on it. Because if you have mud on the bottom, you fold it over inside the unit and roll it up, it's going to get inside the unit. Then the work you did inside the unit to get everything out of it was just a waste of time. It's still going to be, dirty, and we don't want you to lose your deposit. Okay, once you get it folded all the way over, again, you see the first fold, I took it just a tad bit over the other side. We brought the light side over. You're going to do the same side you just folded. Now you're just going to fold it back on top of itself again and go back to the new end. Alright, just take it all the way over to the side, the new side that you made from the first fold. Straighten it out the best you can. The way it's not so wadded up. Once you get it straightened out the best you can, the second fold, again, just like before, walk back and forth, squeeze air out as much. Alright, once you got it walked out again, as much air as possible, you're fixing to do your last fold. The last fold is the heavy side, the part with the slide that we originally told you to leave for last. This is the last side. We're going to fold it over on top of it. That way the only thing left on the outside when you get it folded that you can see is the actual bottom of the unit. That way when you start rolling, none of the inside of the unit's touching the ground anywhere. When you pull it up, you'll kind of notice there's a seam down here. That's kind of just used for a guide. Just look for your seam. That'll let you know you got it over far enough. And one more time, you're going to pull it all the way over. Now you got a long, skinny rectangle. Now when you get it over on the last fold, some of these units will have one more flap on the bottom that you can release air from. You just pull the Velcro, open it up, that'll release some remaining air out, which will help. Alright, we got the last fold done. We've got pretty much as much air as we can walk out of it. One thing to do too before you actually get down to the other end and start rolling is position the straps that you're going to tie it with when you get done rolling. The reason for that is you don't want to roll this heavy thing all the way to the other end and then figure out how you're going to pick it up off the ground and put the straps around it to tie it tight. Alright? What you'll do, it's better to have somebody help you, have somebody pull the unit back, and you can position the straps under it. Just grab it, fold it back on the back side, and as you can see, we done got our straps laid out, stretched across the floor. That way when we let it back down, it's right there where we need them when we get done rolling. We don't have to do nothing else. The straps are laying there. Once it's done rolling, all we have to do is just tie them. That will save you a lot of aggravation and hard work if you make sure that's done before you start rolling. Alright, once you get all those steps done, you're then ready to start rolling. Now all of our units, like this one, are rolled from front to back. Like this is the entrance where the kids got in and out of the bounce house. This is where we're going to start rolling, and we're going to roll it all the way to the back. When you do this, it's a good idea to have a couple people rolling, have somebody in front of you kind of walking the air out and stomping the humps down as you roll it. That way you don't have such a big humps to roll over, okay? When you start, you're going to want to start your roll as tight as you can. It's a little aggravating to get it started good and tight, but it's going to help you in the long run once you get down there. If you start your roll loose, as you're rolling down through there, instead of rolling like a ball, it's going to start flattening out on you. And the more it flattens out, you're no longer rolling. You're then trying to pick the weight of the entire inflatable up every time you flip one spot. Kind of, take your time, leave yourself plenty of time to do this. That way you don't get no rush and hurt yourself. And have a couple of people with you, that way somebody can be in front of you and kind of walk it out for you as you go. As we're rolling too, it's a good idea to keep a damp rag close to you. That way there's something on the bottom, you can just wipe it off as you go. You're not dumping it in the side of the unit, okay? Notice I'm down here at the other end. The tubes that had the blowers in them, I tucked them in before I finished my roll. That way they're not hanging out and you're tripping over them and stuff, or getting hung up when you're trying to move it. I tucked them in. I'm going to roll the roll right over the top of them. That way they don't move. See what I mean when I saying at the beginning of the row how we started to tighten the middle? Once I got further down and it got bigger, it made it a lot easier to finish rolling up. Again, units like this is still a workout for us. We've done it for a long time. We used to handle them. You just, you need a few people to help you with this, especially if you've never messed with them before, because it will wear you out. One of the biggest mistakes people make is they wait till the last minute before they start trying to wipe them down, clean them, and roll them. And then before you know it, they're out of time. And they're trying to hurry to get it up. And its straps tied up. She's rolled. Gather up your blowers, your cords, your stakes, fold up your tarp, everything that comes with the unit. Once you get it loaded up, just make sure you bring it back on time.